Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's having a great morning. Um, I am all alone today. David is off doing something. I forgot to check with him last night, and so I'm on my own today. So hopefully everyone is having a lovely morning. Hey, Gary, and hey, Ray, in the chat there. How you guys doing this morning? Oh, hey, Lightspeed, how you doing? Good to see you. Haven't chatted with you in a while. You've been doing some good stuff online. Yeah. I'm hearing that we're gonna get quite a bit of rain, so I gotta get my gutters on or my spouts on later today. I don't need any flooding anywhere. So yeah. So I've got a few topics for today. But first, I want to thank a few people. These great people right here. I'd like to thank Helge for being a tree supporter and everyone else that supports us on Patreon. If you want to join Patreon, you can go to patreon.com /3D Make It, and you can join us there. And part of the perks is you will be part of the community, and we have a nice Discord server where we can all chat and whatnot. It's quite a great place to hang out. A local maker. And yeah, so thanks to everyone on this list. You guys make all our projects and whatnot a little bit easier to do. Thanks a lot. So, I got to compile my first Marlin 2.1 the other day, and I got to say it went pretty smooth. I just went through my normal routine. I opened my previous file and compared them and just went through to see what changes there were and make sure everything was transferred over correctly. They've moved a few things around. Some of the driver stuff they've kind of separated and moved around in the order of the config file, but it's relatively similar. They did for sure put in there quite a bit more comments and whatnot. Advanced file looks pretty much the same as well. So if anyone goes out and wants to do a build, if they got a new board or something, it should be pretty painless. I know David was working on a few things yesterday with a board that he was having trouble with. I think he had to print some ABS, and so he had a probe malfunction. Something crashed and broke his mount, so he had to print some more. But yeah. So other than that, it's looking pretty good. Seems to work really well, and I didn't get any weird errors. The configs, again, they've still separated them out, and everything's good. David's here. He's in chat. SKR E3 Pro board. Yes, that's the one he was working on. And so I think that will probably be in the next video, possibly. We'll see. I know he was talking about doing a few things, and then we were also talking about getting a workshop going for our Patreons, and then maybe expanding it later. So we're still in figuring out what we're going to do. It's going to be probably similar to something we've already done in the past for our education group that we support. So we're still in the middle of doing that sort of thing. So hopefully, David, you're enjoying yourself. I'm assuming you're actually out camping before the rain hits. So that would be great if you're enjoying yourself out there. But yeah, so has anyone else in chat tried the new Marlin yet, because I'm interested to hear if you've had any troubles or anything. So far, it's been pretty excellent for me, but I've only done the one printer at work, so we'll have to test it on a few more. Yeah. And I've got a few other things on my notes. Let me see if I can find my notes here. That I wanted to bring up Marlin, Patreon. Uh-oh. I hope you don't have the vid. That would suck. How many boards do I have in my stack? Well, I have quite a few boards that are in my stack, actually. I've got the spider. I've got the octopus. I've got the Big Tree Tech Rep Wrap board, and I've got the fly board, which I can't remember I think I put it in something. So I've got a number of boards. So the vid. Hopefully he doesn't have the vid. Hopefully it's just like a regular cold. But yeah. Yeah, I got a bunch of boards. So I just got to figure out what projects I'm doing. This summer, I really want to focus on, because while it's warm, I can get out to the garage because it's not insulated, and I want to really focus on CNC. So that's kind of my personal goal anyway. So that's one of the things that I want to do, is focus on that. But work on my fusion skills with setting up the cam side of things. I'm really learning, like I'm green at that. So, but I've also gotten back into doing some additional fusion design stuff. Actually, I can show you one that I'm working on. So I have on my CR10, I put on the LGX extruder, and LGX actually, they had a model for a fan. Let's switch. Let's see if I can give you, yeah, there we go. I'm going to switch. So they had a model that I printed off for fan duct, and thankfully they put out the CAD files for it. Now, I don't know who designed it, but it's okay. But the nozzle sits quite a bit further away from the duct than I'd like, so the airflow isn't quite great. So I have been using Fusion 360 to modify it. So I made some edits here. My Bondtech my Slice engineering head is not orientated this way. I turned it so that the long part is facing horizontal. So, but this model that they give wouldn't let me do that. I'd have to split it up, and I was too lazy. So, but what I did do is the orientation of where the nozzle isn't different. So what I did was I moved this, because this was quite a bit further back. You see this elongated section right here. I actually moved the whole duct forward quite a bit so that these are more in line, the airflow, with where the actual filament's coming out. So I did that, tweaked it. I also changed the height a bit. The height wasn't quite, where I liked it, so I dropped it down a little bit, so that it was kind of cooling the nozzle rather than blowing on the part. So I tweaked that a bit as well. And so then I did a couple prints, and now let me just go to my other desk view. I've got a new one that's slightly tweaked. You can see the original. Oh, come on, focus. Focus. Come on. There. The original is quite a bit shorter, and this one's quite a bit longer now. And it seems to work. And then it's quite a bit taller. You can see this is a little longer in this area than this one. So works a lot better. Cooling is much improved. And so it was fun playing in Fusion to get that working. When I build anything in Fusion, I always try to, let me just turn everything on so you can see it better. I always try to model it directly on the parts. Ooh, get that full screen there. So I build it up so that I have an adapter plate here that this is bolted directly through to the CR10 V3 plate. And it's bolted directly on, and then I build off of the objects. So it makes designing a lot easier when you can actually take your design and see it more accurate before you do your print. So that's one of the things that I try to do when I'm doing any of my design, is I start off with the actual printer and part. Like, so this is the CR10 V2 gantry, and then I built in a drill adapter plate. So there's the gantry, and where's my adapter plate? No, that's not it. Where is it? I'm not seeing it. No, that was, nope. I bet you it's a sub one in here. I'm not seeing it off. But anyway, I built an adapter plate that fits in these slots that you can then use it as a drill template to drill the holes so that you get them in the right spot that matches up with the LGX, so that it fits perfectly on there. And then the whole goal was so that the nozzle is in as close to factory as possible. It's a little bit off just because of the depth of the stepper. It pushes it a little forward, but I was able to compensate, and I can still get to every part of the bed. So anyway, that worked really well for me, and I really enjoy kind of the design part of things. So that's kind of what I've been working on lately. What have you guys been working on? Hey, Stig. Like, Gary, what have you been printing? And Stig and Ray and Lightspeed, what have you guys been printing lately? Because I've just been like I said, modifying a few things. The other day, I printed a rocktopus for my daughter. Hey, Dominic, how you doing? You're not late. Ah, well, that sucks. Yeah, it's when your printer's down, that's no fun. I've got a couple that are down, but my three major ones, that main ones I use, or four main ones I use, are all working. So I've got a couple other ones that are just kind of off to the side project printers. So oh yeah, yeah. I've been just kind of working on a few designs here and there. I've been working on a few designs for milling on my CNC, so I'm playing with that. But I've got to start a few basic ones just so that I can get the cam side of Fusion figured out. Yeah, Fusion's fun. I really enjoy it. It's really, I find it very easy to work with once you've played around with it for a while, and being able to modify, um, your printer or add fan design is really nice. Yes, that Voron, you're slowly getting it together. Yeah, there's a lot of wiring, especially if you want the wiring to look pretty. That's the I got to say that when you're custom building a printer, keeping all the wiring and everything neat, like, cuz you want to get it going right away, but trying to keep the wiring as neat as possible and whatnot, and lengths manageable, it's quite a chore. Now, some of the kits out there, if you're doing some of the kits, they have wiring harnesses in them, but if you're doing it like Ray or myself, when we did them, when I did, Bear over there, or Hulk over there, you have to do everything yourself. So yeah. Uh, yeah, kitchen organizers. That's always a good one. I've done a few kitchen projects myself, various stands and whatnot. Dog leash holders. I'm interested. You'll have to throw in Discord a picture of one of those. Yeah, if everyone we Ray is in the Discord also, so a lot of times he'll put up projects he's working on in there. So yeah, throw it in Discord so I can have a look at it, Ray. I'm interested to see. We've got a little deer key holder at our front door, and has a big hook, and we just throw our leashes and stuff over that. Yeah, yeah. It's fuel prices are quite crazy. I'm glad I have an electric. I'm not sure if Lightspeed got his car replaced yet. I know he had an accident a little while back, and so hopefully he has his replaced. He had a Tesla, so yeah, yeah. Well, when's the big move date, Stig? I know you said you got the place. You posted a few pictures of the building and whatnot. It's coming up pretty quick, isn't it? Yeah, it's never fun moving, but it's one of those things that just kind of you gotta do, and then it gives it a kind of forced opportunity to clean up and maybe part with stuff that you've meaning to for a while. And Linux is great. I don't think that there is an online version of Fusion now. So if any of you are interested and maybe don't have a computer that can run it or whatnot, you can actually go make an account with the maker's version. It's a little bit cut down version. It's not super fast, depending on, obviously you're going through a browser if you want, but you can go online and do the online version now. And I'm not sure if it's available to everyone, but take a look at that, because then you could still run it on a Mac if it wasn't native, or you could run it on Linux. So, oh, the online's only for education. Damn it, they should expand that. So yeah, we have the ability on with the education version, so that students, if they have a Chromebook or something other device, they can use the online version. Gives you the same features as basically is rendering it remotely and whatnot, but that sucks. And thanks, Ray, for reminding me. Yeah, if you've taken a look at some of our content we've had in the past of our pre-recorded stuff that we post, or you like this live format, normally David's here with me, but just to remind you all to give us a thumbs up and or a like, and if you haven't, please subscribe. Little things like that do help with the algorithm gods, and get us a little more coverage and whatnot. So we don't do this for glory or fame, but if you are so inclined, that is always very helpful. Thanks a lot for reminding us there, Ray. I tried a version a while ago and did some weird things at the time, would not stop allowing selections. Oh, yeah, I think they've been really working on the web version and whatnot, but I still run the desktop client on my PC, because then it, most of the stuff is done locally, but then it stores everything server side, which is quite nice. I know David fought with Fusion, his account. We do teach and train teachers and whatnot with our Fusion and whatnot, but his account was originally only set up as IT, and then that caused them to say, "Oh, you can install it, but you can't use it," and so that was problematic, because when you're trying to teach someone, you need to actually be able to show them the product. So that was a little frustrating for David to get the account set up, and then we thought we almost lost all of our designs, but David got it all recovered, thankfully. Yeah. I don't have a ton of other stuff on the go. We've been working on a friend's printer. Her printer, one of the drivers decided to fail. So we've confirmed that was the problem, and it's printing okay now. So it's just a matter of, she's going to order a new board from our friends over at Spool, and get it in quite quickly and get it going. So that's kind of the stuff we've been working on lately. And we're getting ready for summer. We got lots of plans going on for regular old enjoyment of life. But like I said, I'm going to try to work on some CNC stuff. I'm going to finish tuning Hulk in the background there. It's working fine. I just want to try to get it more tweaked, because I do want to print some ABS. So I'm going to move it out of the house and move it into the garage, and where it's a little bit got a little more volume and for airflow and whatnot, so I can get going there and print some ABS out there, or so is the plan. So we'll see how that goes. I also have the accelerometer, so I want to do the input shaping and learn how to do that. And while I'm doing that, I will probably make a little video of my experience with that. A lot of people have done really good, solid videos on how it works and whatnot, but I want to go through it myself, and just so I can really understand the input shaping and whatnot. Nero 3D had a really good unboxing. If ever anyone wants to see the Bamboo X1, he did a full unboxing, right? Like, so you can actually see how well it's packaged and everything. And then he was showing off how it does its calibration and everything. And man, that thing, the head just vibrates back and forth when it's doing its kind of resonance testing and everything. It's pretty interesting to watch. So if you want to see a video that goes more into the the setup and shows some of their limitations on the software, which needs to be tweaked and whatnot, but I'm intrigued by that printer for sure. But it's definitely not a modding hobby printer. It's more take it out of the box, start printing, and just print as much as you want off of it, kind of thing. It's not meant for tweaking. Yeah, it doesn't even look like you even need to level the bed. It's that well packaged that everything stays pretty aligned, and so I'm anxious to see it in action. Dominic, I'm just going to read your comment here. I think this is the only 3D printer stream that hasn't reviewed the Kickstarter printer. Yeah. Any thoughts on complete? Complete. Yeah, I don't think Bamboo Labs is interested in sending us a printer. We're a pretty small channel, so. One day, maybe if I'm rich enough, I might purchase one. But that's I'm gonna look at building a Voron prior to buying a Bamboo. They look beautiful, they look awesome, but can't really justify it, especially with inflation and everything right now. So, if they feel compelled that they really want us to look at it, I don't think David would say no. I know I wouldn't. So Bamboo, if you're out there, info@3dmakeit.ca. But yeah, it's been interesting watching everyone's different takes and whatnot. Some of the reviews are pretty polished. I liked Nero's because he's a Voron guy. He's on the Voron team. He pulled it apart and just had a really good look at it. He even pulled the back off to look at the board, and they've really done a lot of engineering. The guys that work at Bamboo, some of them worked at, I'm not sure if it's a subsidiary of DJI or they did a lot of engineering for DJI. I'm not sure, but there's a connection there somehow. So yeah, and then DJI products seem pretty solid. So they put a lot of effort into it for sure. Hey Ben, how you doing? Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Stig. If you like changing boards and you like modding your printers, or you like tweaking or experimenting and doing all the stuff we do with the Enders and CR10s, and your if you want to do a full custom build like a Voron and whatnot, a Bamboo's not for you. If that's the part of the hobby that you enjoy, you can still get fabulous prints out of all of our printers. I know all of you have experienced this as well. Like, The printers work great. Now, if you're a small business and whatnot, and you want to, do some rapid prototyping and whatnot, it might be for a small business for sure. It does have some, the heater is proprietary, the nozzle's proprietary, the extruder's proprietary. So as long as the parts are available for service and whatnot, then great. I personally would lean towards an Ender if it's your first printer. I keep chuckling. I sent a picture to David just the other day. I was at Princess Auto, and they had a Dremel, and they were trying to sell it for $1,000. They eventually discounted it and got rid of it. And then now they have the Flash Forge, the older ones. I'm pretty sure it's a Flash Forge. They're trying to sell them for $350. They don't have a heated bed. So you still, and whatnot. So and they want $350 for it. And I mean, or $360, I think it was $359. And you can get an Ender for the same price, or maybe even $10 more, which has a heated bed, bigger build volume. So I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. And then they're selling 500, a half a kilogram rolls of filament for $40. What, places that don't sell 3D printers shouldn't sell 3D printers because they don't know what they're doing, or what they have. So, but that's my opinion on that. Well, that sucks, Ben. Stuck in an RV and no printing. Hopefully it's a vacation and not something else. But that's no good. But Stig, I agree. My Ender 3s, the one here and one at work, they're workhorses. They just work. Even if you don't have the BL Touch on them, even if they just work. The only thing I've done that I recommend to everyone is replace the springs with the heavier springs. Other than that, they work. And the extruder, because those plastic extruders suck. The metal ones, way better. The arm on the plastic ones always cracks. Eventually, and then you'll have weird extrusion problems, and that's probably because we now have a few hundred Enders throughout the school district, and I would say that is the most common thing that breaks on those, and then we upgrade them to the metal extruders, and they're good to go again. So I bet you, Ray, that's probably what you guys see a lot if you're repairing Enders, is the extruder. I'm sure you guys sell a ton of them. Yeah. But I think I've got direct drive on my two main ones. I've got the Chimera on that one, and I've got the LGX on this one. But I don't have direct drive on Kit, and I don't have direct drive on the Voron, because it's a Voron V0, not a 0.0, not a V0.1 with the upgraded built-in mini extruder that they have. Oh, apparently I need to check my Discord, because I'm assuming that someone put in. Oh, there we are. I will show this off. Ray, can I show that off? Maybe I should ask before I show it off. Can I show off your your stuff, Ray? Hey, Scott. Yeah, Titans are pretty good. They work well. The metal one works really good too. Okay, so Ray says I can show off his stuff here, so I'm going to switch to my screen share. So here are some of the different holders that he's done. Leash holders. Oh, they're cute. I like them. I like this bottom one here with the little silhouette of the dogs. And so is that the logo for the rescue slash agency that you foster dogs with. And then this is his wiring he's working on. Look at that. Oh, he went with the breakout board. Nice. Nice. It looks pretty clean. You're doing a good job there. Looks good. It looks really good. Yes, I thought you both the fostered the animals and whatnot. So Scott, what have you been printing lately? We're just checking in with everyone, seeing how it's going and what they're doing. Yeah, the wiring looks really good, Ray. So you went with the breakout board. Is that did you what the connection from the breakout board back out? Is that just like a a gray ribbon cable that you're using, and then or are you using something else? That keeps it nice and compact, eh? The little breakout board. A Molex 3? Yeah. So I thought it makes it a little bit easier for maintenance on the head too. It's quite the pancake stepper on there. Oh, it's small. Are they LDO motors there, Ray, on your Voron? No, Marlin 2.1 right now is not a long-term service version. If you want the long-term service version, Marlin 2.0.9.4 is the long-term service version. So if you are want stability and you don't want changes to features, stick with Marlin 2.0 for the long-term service, because that'll give you the stability, but just any bugs or patch fixes on it. So if you are a person who really doesn't want to try out the latest, greatest features, you're not doing 9 axes, that sort of thing, Marlin 2.0.49 or 9. I can't remember the version number. Let me look it up. Because I do believe I have that page up right here. So yeah, so right now, let's make that a little bit larger. There we go. So right now on the Marlin website, if you want the long-term service, you want 2.0.9.4. That'll get you the latest. And if you want nightlies, it's obviously the 2.0.x, and you can get all the bug fix versions and whatnot. So definitely stick with that for long term. They actually just patched Marlin 1, which is really interesting. So if you go on the GitHub, the Marlin 1 patch is right at the top. So they did some bug fixes and whatnot for that one, which I think it was at 1.01 or 2 for a long, long time, and now they've went to -3. So, but yeah, I would recommend Marlin 2. It's been very stable. It works really well. Everything in Marlin 2.1 has been migrated from Marlin 2.0. So definitely stick with it if you want long term. Yeah, yeah, Scott, yeah, it's for sure. You know, why did they end up? What was the main reason for the patch on the Marlin 1? I mean, I don't see too many people using it too much, but that, it's one of those things. I guess we could go to the release notes, can't we? We can do this. Removed extraneous platform IO and updated the README. Well, there you go. So it wasn't anything super crazy, but yeah, it's good. It's good to see that you guys are staying on top of things. But yeah, definitely if you don't want all the new features, definitely stick with the two. I and David enjoy testing out the latest greatest, whether it's a nightly or it's a new feature. So we will be the guinea pigs or canaries in the coal mine and try out all the newest stuff. So for sure. Yeah, I think 1.0 needs to be something like very long term service, not just LTS, because it's, I mean, it's very long in the tooth nowadays, because I feel we're well past it. 1.19 or when it came out was very mature, and the two step up was a really nice change with the new features and board support and everything. That was a really nice thing to see, and it's nice to see that they got all the latest boards in there too. Yeah, I agree. Very long term service, or almost retired long term service. Yeah, and we've talked about this in the past, right? If you have a really if you're getting great prints and you don't have any bugs, and a lot of times the fixes with Marlin are to address bugs in some of the newer boards. So if you've got a stable board that's been around for a while, uh, you know, and you don't need all the extra features that may have been added, let's say in different versions. Having a version like Stig says, he's got 2.7.0, 2.0.7. That's fine. Unless there's some glaring security or bug or crashing thing, stick with it. Like if it's working great and you're getting great prints, don't change. No one thinks you're a fool. Yeah, and that's the thing. I know lots of people who have the stock ender boards, right? Um, they're stock boards. They maybe have put Marlin on it, maybe they haven't, and um, they don't have any problems with it, so they can just keep using it, and that's fine. There is nothing wrong with having a stock printer and not modding it. I enjoy modding my printers. I enjoy trying the new firmware. So when there's a time to guinea pig something, I'm ready to try it out. I've got a bunch of different boards to try stuff out. I wish I was a programmer so I could help contribute to the Marlin community and whatnot. But if I can point out bug fixes or help in that way, then that's what I will do, because I want to support the open source community and the project, and they do such good work that that's one of those things. And all the different communities like RepRap, they've started spin-offs and shoot-offs so that you can now have RepRap on some boards, and you can have Marlin on the same board or whatever. So they made it much more flexible now, and you've got more choice. But Marlin seems to consistently be moving ahead and making sure that the community is stable and has a really good quality software. And the notes that they put in those config files. If you're having problems, they're very good. And the language in the error files now, like if you do have a compiling issue, is always improving. It's very easy now to search for there, or it's in, shall we say, plain English, so that mere mortals can understand what's going on. So I do appreciate how they've improved that over time. Now, if we can get people just to read those errors, because that's probably when we were teaching our how to compile Marlin workshop, which hopefully we'll be basing this next one off of, people weren't reading the errors. It was evident from the error when they pasted it in what the problem was, but they didn't read it. And it was just saying you should comment, change, you can't use this feature with this feature. So it was pretty obvious in that respect. So, but we were dealing with people that had never compiled anything before, not just firmware for a printer. So I think their comfort level wasn't there. And that was the biggest thing is we were doing this to try to get them more comfortable with this sort of stuff. And so it's a learning curve, right? Everyone has to go through a learning process, and this was theirs, I guess, at that point. So yeah, so I'm looking for cheap 32-bit boards. I don't need anything fancy, only things that should be a drop-in replacement for Lindu 3. Any suggestions? The sanity checks in Marlin have turned out to be good thing. I would agree, though they are another hassle to maintain. The firmware can catch on so many configuration errors for users now. That's true, Scott. But you know what? The sanity checks, I appreciate all the work you guys put into it, really, because it does make compiling for the average Joe a lot easier. I know trying to actually go through all those those checks probably is a bit of a hassle, especially if you're merging all the changes. I can just imagine that merging the changes from all the different change logs and whatnot, and then having to troubleshoot the sanity checks. Power to you, because that's not something I would want to go through. But I appreciate that they're there, because it really does allow us to be able to really be able to troubleshoot when there is an issue. So, Scott, I got a question. I don't know if you want to answer it or not. Was there much of a change with the new easy steppers from the back end side of things in Marlin, or was it just they have a different plug and everything else basically is the same? Because I mean the form factor has changed, right? But other than that, from a back end Marlin side of things, is there any real was there any real challenges, or was it just we just got to remap the pins on the board and we're good to go? I'm just curious. Like it seems like it would just be a back end thing, but I didn't know if there was any other logic changes or something that they had to do to get the easy steppers versus the regular steppers. I assume it's mostly just wiring. Yeah, just as regular drivers. That's what I thought, because it's just simplification for the people plugging it in. I don't even understand how people can get steppers in backwards, but I guess it can happen, right? I could see if they didn't have, because the new ones, I don't think I have. I'm sure I have. Do I have a driver here? Yeah, I do. Sorry about that. Hit my mic. On the new steppers, I'm going to switch to my desk view. Oh, wrong one. Desk view 2. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, here's your typical stepper. I mean, you've got these 2-pin. Ooh, come on. Focus. There we go. You got the 2 pins on the end. So if you're lining it up, you've got the L shape there. You shouldn't be able to put this in backwards if you're paying attention. So I wouldn't really be too worried. The easy steppers themselves, I kind of like that it's on a slot and it's got stuff. So how about the driver's upside down? That is true. Yeah. I could totally see the driver's upside down being a problem. I mean, you on here you've got the pins, but if you got typically nowadays you're not buying the raw board, so I could totally see someone soldering it wrong, and then you've totally got the pins. Ooh, come on. In wrong, but because maybe you think the chip has to go on top in this one, but this one you've got the pad, so you don't want it on top. But yeah, I don't miss the days of having to actually do that. Yeah, the MKS boards, I actually got one. I got one right here, and I remember having the, I think I still have it somewhere, the 2130s, and I had all the jumper wires going across, and those were always the craziest for sure. Yeah, I don't know why they ever did that, the flipping them over. Top says top, but it didn't say top before. So the early drivers, and Scott had the good point on the early drivers when they first came out, didn't say top. They did label all the stepter and whatnot, but sometimes they didn't even do that. So you had to be very careful when they would just enable, like, here's your enable pin, and then they expected you to get it in correctly, and you had to solder them. And then if you wanted them to go into if you, let's say you got one of the earlier Trinamic drivers, you'd have to solder 2 of the pins to go into UART mode, and then you could connect the UART and whatnot. But if you soldered it wrong, you could easily it was such a small space. If your soldering skills are not quite right, you could easily short out the stepper. It wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all had let the smoke out of a few drivers in the early days, for sure. But now it's a lot better. I haven't, I mean, I like the step sticks, being able to just pop them in and be able to try out different drivers or switch stuff. I know you can save a little money and whatnot, and flexibility if you get some of the ender boards with the chips already soldered on. But I don't know. I'm old school. I remember putting cards into a computer and whatnot, and different modems and whatnot. So I like the upgradability, even though half of us never change them. It's still nice to have it as an option, I guess. So, but that's just my opinion anyway on that. So, but thanks for joining the stream, Scott. It was nice to have you here. We appreciate everything you do, and it's nice to have you join in the chat. It's been a great chat here. We're almost out of time, so I want to, before I forget, because normally David's here, so David probably has a bunch more questions that he would like to ask, but he's not here. So, but I want to remind everyone to that we do have our Patreon, and we do appreciate everyone that supports us. Helge is at the top at the tree supports, and everyone else that helps with our projects, whether it's doing the Marlin, how to build and troubleshoot in our Patreon little workshop that we're going to be planning here, or anything. It's really nice to have the community, and you saw that I showed off some of the stuff that Ray has done in Discord, and we share a lot of that stuff in Discord. It's a really great community to be a part of. We try to help each other out a lot, and so if you're so inclined, please feel free to join us. If not, that's okay. Like, subscribe, anything you can do always helps, and then we can try to make more content here, and everything. So, Scott, I was going the fancier, refreshing old i3, but heck, I'll stick with RAMs and just use silent 22 and 9s and standalone drivers. And that's the one nice thing. Standalones are fine. Like, if they were out at the time that I started with my Chiron over here, I probably would have gone with standalones and just swapped in the 2209s in it before I did all my big modding to it. But it works well. Well, keep your AC on and enjoy your bug chasing. Thanks for stopping by, Scott. And Ben, good to see you. Stig, everyone that joined us today. We've had a lot of great people. Gary and Lightspeed's been here, and Local Maker. It's been a really great chat. Hopefully David is feeling better and can join us next time. But thanks again, everybody. It's been a slice chatting with all of you, and we will talk to you later.